What up, what up, what up, everybody? Good morning. It is episode 234. Here we are, Tuesday morning. How you doing, Big Mike?
Oh, I'm doing great. I am just living the dream today. I'm just happy to be here.
For anybody who don't know, as we get on, we are able to see each other briefly before we start the show. And I just wanted to give everybody a warning that I seen Mike literally pouring a bottle of alcohol, whatever it is he's drinking. He poured it like you would take a bottle of pop and pour it into a cup, and that's what it looked like. There was no little splashes. There was no mixing it with anything. It was just straight. Whatever was in that bottle was going in that cup like water.
It's a mojito. I like mojitos, and I will die on this hill that mojitos are a tasty drink. And if anyone wants to come after me and say it's a girly drink, come into the Two Dumb Yinzers, and I will tell you why this thing is better than beer.
And also, you might notice that Mike has a little color to him this morning.
Yes.
No, he didn't go get any tanning done. He didn't go do anything for his complexion. All he did was he just adjusted the lights just a little bit in the studio, right, Mike? Nothing major, just a little changing of the color.
This changing of the lighting color, because I've been having like the white light on in one of the bulbs, and the other I have it at like a blue. I like the way it looks. Like when I walk around my room, that nice little blue tint, easy on the eyes. I'm looking at myself and I'm watching the videos back, I'm watching the shorts back. I'm like, my God, I look paler than Ryan. And I know I have better skin complexion than Ryan right now. So I was like, let me play with the colors. Purple on one, pink on the other. And I look like I have a skin tone. I look like I'm a healthy human being.
This is why I keep my beard white, Mike, because it makes my face look less white. It looks like the color of my face is slightly darker than the white in my beard. So that's my strategy.
Now, this is why I gave you like the worst of the two web cameras too, so we don't get the full look of your face.
Smart move.
Wait until we get the new ones. We're gonna have to do something about the lighting for both of us.
This was actually a serious full-length meeting conversation that had to take place here at the Two Dumb Yinzers. We had to decide on how we were going to manage my face. It wasn't an easy task.
No, it was not. But like as your beard got longer, you have to keep turning.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're just gonna be filming the back of your head. Because when we first started, you were like dead on like this. You look normal, look like you're talking to people. Now, like every quarter of an inch, you just have to keep turning.
I do. I will. You will only see the back of my head before you know it, Mike. It is coming.
That's what she said.
Sooner than later. No two ways about that, Mike. I do. You'll be thrilled to know that I have my Throat Punch Thursday pen with me today. We all know that there's been some kind of issue here, and my Friday pen is gone. But I am good, Mike. I'm good through the rest of the week, all the way up until Friday. So
all right,
we got that going for us.
Also, so you have Throat Punch Tuesday. You mean Throat Punch Tuesday pen?
Yeah, Throat Punch Tuesday. Yes. And also, of course, Mike, we have.
Madam, I request that you immediately send me pictures detailing your beautiful bosom in support of the national holiday known as Titty Tuesday.
And that, of course, Mike, talking about Titty Tuesday is one of the reasons I wake up on Tuesday. I wake up and I turn and I toss and I think, shit, do I need to live life? Why don't I just go back to sleep or die? But I'm like, you know what? I have to push that button on Tuesday, and that does release a bit of dopamine for me, and it does make me content and satisfied. Titty Tuesday is the button that I push every Tuesday is something that keeps me going.
Hey, man, whatever we can do to keep you going throughout the day, I'll give you all the buttons you need.
All right. I like buttons. You know I like buttons. I'll sit here and push buttons all show, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you will.
Let me find a good one here for you.
God. Bruh. We haven't had a good bruh in a while.
Bruh.
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 Hello, motherfucker.
Hello, motherfucker.
That escalated quickly, man. I don't know if we need that kind of violence this early in the morning.
Oh, I got your button.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Oh, it's doing a little circle. There it is. There's your button. You You should have that as a horn on your car, Mike. Anytime you go anywhere and you get in an issue, because you have issues on the street, from what I understand, when you're driving, and every time you go to beep, it should be.
Yep.
No?
Yeah.
You like that?
Oh, I love it.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 234. How you doing this morning, Michael?
Mike, I was doing great before that first open. Let's see how the second open goes.
We do have, Mike, some stuff to talk about today.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. There's a lot to talk about today. I don't know what we're talking about, but there's a lot to talk about today. I did not make it to the production meeting.
I do want to talk about some social media issues going on over the past couple of days here in Pittsburgh, amongst a couple players, one being a former player for the Pittsburgh Steelers and one being a current player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to start with the current, Mike, and go with Deontay Johnson, of course. On Instagram yesterday, Mr. Johnson, wide receiver 1, says, quote, "I stopped explaining myself when I realized other people only understand from their level of perception." So it's everybody's perception in this town that this guy catches the ball and runs 3 to 4 yards backwards every time he catches it. That's what I'm understanding when I read this, right?
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm getting from it. And I would love to be his wide receiver coach. Yeah. Reading that and be like, "You mother." He can say that now, like now that the season's over, like he doesn't have to answer to any coaches right now, so he can say this and know there's going to be no backroom repercussions.
Or the receivers coach is like a super, what's the word? An enabler. Maybe the wide receiver coach is telling him he's doing great every week, and Deontay figures, hey, you know what? I'm doing great. I'm not going to change anything. I'll continue to run backwards, which I can't believe nobody said to him in practice over the last half of the season. But anyway, that's besides the point.
I think he's being told, don't fucking do that.
And that's what I'm saying. This guy, come on. But so from our level of perception is why we're not understanding anything about the guy that didn't get any touchdowns at his wide receiver 1 position. The guy that runs backwards 5 yards every time he catches it. And you know what? These 6 drops, I'd like to find the guy who keeps track of all this shit, because I'm pretty sure there was more than 5-6 times this season I've seen this guy drop a ball. I can think of 3 right off the top of my head just without even thinking about it. What's going through this guy's head, Mike?
I have no idea what's going through his head right now, but I like drops in football or kind of like hits in hockey. It all depends on who scores them. Because you watch a hockey game, you see a guy lay it, hit 4 or 5 people, and he gets credit for 2 throughout the game. You're like, what?
Right.
So like drops are subjective. Like,
gotta be that guy keeping score.
Yeah, like you understand. Like, okay, even if it looks like a player should catch the ball, then you analyze it. Okay, maybe it was a bad pass. It was a duck. Guy all over him. Receiver, corner hits it out. Okay, that's not a drop. But some of these ones are like they clang in their hands and they fall down and they don't get counted as drops. I'm like, why is that not a drop? Hit him in the hand, should have caught it, should have been a drop.
That's why I don't put much.
Subjective. It's subjective.
It's
It's like the saying, "Oh, Larry Fitzgerald only had like 4 drops his entire career."
Yeah,
bullshit.
Yeah,
bullshit. Larry Fitzgerald's one of the best receivers of all time, but that's a BS.
You drop a lot of balls. That's the game.
Receivers drop a lot of balls, and the better you are, the more leeway you get in not having a drop. And he's so frustrating. My man can runs crisp routes.
Mike,
when he gets the ball, he's electrifying.
Let me say one good thing about him real quick.
Oh God.
Let me say one good thing. I seen a play near the end of the season, maybe second to last game. I don't recall what it was. However, DJ gets a ball down the right sideline, and he continues to truck down the sideline with this lightning speed. I'm not going to say that, there's something there. The guy has some kind of talent.
Yeah.
And it was very impressive. And I thought, if we could only get this from this guy a little bit more, it ain't like we're asking too much. It ain't like we're pulling a guy from the vending booth and asking him to make plays on the football field.
Yeah.
You're asking the guy who prepares for this job, supposedly all year round, and works on it and works on catching from the big bucket machines, and these guys, they do it all. And like you said, it is subjective. And Go ahead. That was my nice thing. You know what? I don't have much nice to say about DJ, but I had something, so I had to stop you. I had to, because if it went out of my ear, it would have left, and I wouldn't care to go ever find it again. So there, I said something nice.
I sympathize with you because it's like me trying to find something nice to say about Kenny Pickett.
Right.
It's hard to do, and when it's there, you do have to say it. You do have to point out the nice things, and I'm proud of you, man. You're showing growth.
You like that?
No, I don't.
We were a week away from an intervention with me, from what I hear around the office here. Intervention, Mike, an intervention. My Deontay Johnson intervention.
Yeah, it was coming, dude. You were getting a little like I was worried there for a minute. Like, not that you're gonna go harm him, but like you may like not harm yourself. But I think you were gonna have an aneurysm on air.
That I could
hatred of Deontay Johnson.
That I can see happening, Mike. Yes,
that's what that was going to happen. There was going to be no self-harm, no harm to others, but you were going to have an aneurysm on air.
And just for people that are listening and watching, I do plan to be on this show until the day I die. So there's a good chance you will see me have an aneurysm / heart attack / something by the end of the show in its entirety.
It's going to happen.
It should happen, and I'm hoping that I could get it to happen on air.
Anything for ratings, man. If you want me to like get sick on air, you have to at least die on air.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair trade-off.
When you get sick and when you run off into the other room.
That's.
Don't leave me here. My house.
Nope. I'm gonna leave.
I'm usually on the floor, kicking my feet, screaming, Michael. Mike, the other one, DJ was first. Second one is Rashard Mendenhall. Where did he come from all of a sudden? Now talking trash on Big Ben, going back to right around the time of the last Super Bowl. Apparently, Rashard Mendenhall says when we win, it's him. When we lose, it's me. I hear a lot of different players on this team getting that accused of them. I think that's something that happens in sports on an everyday basis. Mm-hmm. Also, they're digging up things, Mike, from things that were said back then. Some of them not so great, some of them not so nice things that you want to hear in the NFL. Mike, what's going on with Rashard Mendenhall?
I think like Rashard, he unfairly gets blamed for that loss in that Super Bowl.
Was he the fumble? He had a fumble, right?
He had a fumble, yeah. But how many times did that defense give up leads?
Yeah.
That offense would go down, score points, get a lead. Then the defense would go down and give up points. And then this was like all in the fourth quarter. Like the offense had to keep bringing the defense back, and the defense could not stop Aaron Rodgers. Troy Polamalu could not cover the tight end. I can't remember the tight end's name, but he kept getting burnt. And then Rashard Mendenhall fumbles one time, and then he gets all the blame. All the blame for it went to him. And it's not fair. Like all the blame shifts to him, and there's a lot of people to blame in that game. Ben. Also, he had a turnover in that game. That defense gave up points in that game. It was a whole team loss in that game. And it's everyone just wants to blame Mendenhall because he didn't live up to that first round pedigree.
I got to say this.
He's the perfect scapegoat because he's no longer on the Steelers. He didn't have a long career here in Pittsburgh. And it wasn't a flashy career. So boom, he's the perfect scapegoat because this is Pittsburgh. You can never blame the defense. And he's the next best bet.
Rashard. Excuse me, Mr. Mendenhall, I do want you to know, if this ever gets back to you in any kind of way, I do not blame you for the loss.
I don't either.
Super Bowl 45. I do not. I never have. As a matter of fact, it may have happened immediately after you fumbled the ball, but that's every player that every play I'm blaming somebody for something during the game.
Yeah.
But until this moment, I forgot all about it. Matter of fact, I forgot all about you. But here's the thing. I really did. I mean, come on. He was a drop in the bucket. But, what people don't remember, or they just fail to mention, Mike, about this football game, Super Bowl 45 in Dallas, the Steelers-Packers, what they fail to remember is this. The other team was a pretty damn good team too. So yes. At the end of the day, when you lose 31-25 by 6 points in the Super Bowl to a good team, some days you just have to say, you know what, we lost. Yeah. And if that means a fumble, if that means whatever, that's the course of a football game, and that's what happened. I think that maybe these guys should, here we are 12 years later, maybe we should just kind of start to let this go again. Mendenhall, I can promise you people aren't walking around Pittsburgh gritting their teeth in anger with you because of what happened in Super Bowl 45. I promise you. I'm not saying that there are people that aren't doing that. However, most people and people with with things going on in their life, chances are they're not.
Yeah, I never knew he was the scapegoat until like early this year. Like I never knew he was the scapegoat. To me, I always pinned it on like the defense, for
Mike,
their failure to contain that offense, because the Steelers' offense put up points. And I never knew Mendenhall as a guy, but everyone like in Pittsburgh, oh yeah, he ruined it. He ruined it. I'm like, where the hell did this hate for Mendenhall come from?
I look at it this way.
I just don't get it.
Yesterday, we mentioned a group of guys sounding something like this: Brady, Ben, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and this group of generational quarterbacks that filled the last generation. For Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees to only win one, they had to be against somebody. And here's the thing: both great quarterbacks, great. They're going to go down in history, both of these guys. And if they beat your team by 6 in the big game, you know what? It happens. We won 6 of these things before. We understand that there's somebody on the other side of the coin. There's going to be people that go home and sit there and go, geez, if we would have just did this differently, the Steelers wouldn't be the. So I think that this is something that really just needs to go away. I think that it's something that's stuck in Mendenhall's head. Maybe maybe he's living with this, but like I said,
every time he pops up on social media, he can just say anything and people go, "Oh, you lost the Steelers. You lost to the Steelers the Super Bowl." It's like
that's stupid.
Go back and watch that Super Bowl. He wasn't the only reason they lost.
Right. And like I said, the damn good quarterback on the other side of the ball had a chance to put up 31 points in a game. You know what? You play that game 3 times, you might win one. You might, who knows?
Yeah.
But like I said, it wasn't like we went into the Super Bowl, played a Cinderella team who wasn't supposed to be there and lost to it.
It's not like
this guy wouldn't have won, he would have never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's not like we lost to Trent Dilfer.
Right.
We lost to Aaron friggin' Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
You're right.
So it is what it is. It sucked.
It
sucked in the moment watching it, but I never felt it was Mendenhall's fault.
Mike, in 6 years, we win 2 out of 3 Super Bowls.
Yes.
If we're going to sit around and complain about Mendenhall for a loss of 1 in a 6-point game to a all-time quarterback, that's not what I'm going to do. That's what I never did, and I'm going to say it right now on this show in episode 234. I'm never going to do that.
No.
Many people has came and gone since he's went. There's been many people who's came and gone before he got here. There's been many people that made mistakes. There's been many people that made mistakes that lost games. There's been many people that did wonderful things to win games.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, Mr. Mendenhall, I promise you, nobody cares.
I don't care. And those that do are just crazy people.
And I can promise you, Big Ben Roethlisberger don't care.
I don't know about that one.
I wouldn't. Speaking of Big Ben Roethlisberger, Brady going off, Mike. Tom Brady, when asked about his potential retirement, he says, if I knew what the fuck I was going to do, I would have fucking done it. This is what Tom Brady says.
I love it.
It is. I love it too. What is Tom Brady going to do? What is he going to do, Mike?
Where was this Tom Brady for the past 20 years when he was dominating the league? This is the talk. If he was talking like this in New England, I would have loved him for 20 years.
He had bushy blonde hairdo. He was
just by the script. I hate to say it, but Sidney Crosby. Like, I'm just gonna be by the script. What you want to hear, say what you want to hear, and get out of here. Respectable for both of them, but if Brady said this in New England, I would have loved him even more, because he would have been even more of a villain and more likable in the long run. And I'm glad that he spoke like this, because people say, oh, we're tired of athletes giving us the cliche answer. Brady didn't give you the cliche answer, and I love him for it. It was an honest answer, and I wish more athletes would do this.
Yeah,
give these honest answers like this. But the sports media, they say they want to hear this, but then they'll either attack him for this or like, oh my God, why do you use such language? Something along those lines. So I'm just glad Brady did it, and I love it, and I love him for it. I wish he would have done this 20 years earlier.
Yes, Mike. Yes, Tom Brady. Who knows what he's going to do? Who knows what Tom Brady's going to do? And you know what? At this point, I don't really care what Tom Brady does, unless he goes back to New England and wins 5 more Super Bowls. To be honest, what this guy does at this point, I don't care. He's older than me. I barely care what I do every day, so I don't give a shit what this guy does.
Do you think a team's going to throw a monster contract at him, like everyone's talking about?
Absolutely.
I think there's going to be a team dumb enough that thinks that, hey, he still has something left in the tank. We're going to put a better team around him, and he's going to take us to the promised land. And I think it's crazy.
I think it's crazy too, and I don't think it's going to happen. However, it is fun to teeter back and forth with. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I think at some point, really soon, Tom is going to feel that you know what, this might be the end of the road for me.
Yeah.
And you know, committing himself in that way, that's something I don't think he wants to do at this point, Mike. I don't think he wants to feel trapped in. I think Tom, you know, after everything that's just gone on in his personal life, to feel trapped in, I think is the last thing he's going to want to do, especially being the greatest ever. You know, you should be able to do what you want to do. You should have that leeway. And I think he's going to do that, Mike, whether it be after another season, might be another season with another team. But I don't think that there's much left in this tank. And you know what? And at the end of the day, like you said, you got to respect the guy, everything he's done. He became the greatest of all time. He's won 7 Super Bowls. I respect that. But you know what? At the end of the day, he's a human being as well. And I think, Mike, I wouldn't say more than 2 more seasons with this guy.
To think, I bet he's thinking long and hard, like how all off season went, and you know he lost his family because of this, and of going into like rash decisions and people leaking his decisions. I think he's going to play this one a whole hell of a lot closer to the vest now.
Yeah, I do too. And you know what? If he does, you know, good for him. I will hold nothing against him, and not just because he's a good football player who beat us over 20 years. I would respectfully say, you know what, good for you, my man. And you know, enjoy the rest of the ride. Mike, we was talking about 12 years ago, of course, in the Super Bowl against the Packers. I do have one more note from that before we move on. Yesterday was the 11-year anniversary since the AFC Championship game win over the New York Jets, which sends the Steelers off to Dallas to play in Super Bowl 45 against the Packers. That was just yesterday, Mike. That was 11 years.
I totally forgot about that game.
They had that good team, that one good. You know, it was weird about that because we faced them earlier as well in the 05, like 06 time.
Yeah, that was Ben's rookie year. We played them in the divisional round right before we played New England and lost to New England. Like that was the game. Like you can see, like Ben hit that rookie wall in that game. His arm was like dead. He had nothing going for him that game, that long season.
Yeah. Now it's funny that you mentioned this, Mike, because there's an interesting number that I want to throw out there regarding Ben's rookie season and championship games and Mark Sanchez.
Yes, I know where we're going with this one, baby. Mike, finally, I know something.
5. There's only been 5 times in the history of the game, and I'm going to count them on my hands just so we don't get any confusion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 times, Mike, in the history of this game that a rookie quarterback took their team, led their team to the championship game. It was 1999 with Sean King, number 1. Number 2, 2004, Big Ben. 2008, Joe Flacco. 2009, Mark Sanchez. And finally, in 2022, Brock Purdy. 5, count them, Mike. 5, Big Ben is another one of these elite lists that you could throw him into at the end of his career and say, look at all this guy done. However, these other guys not so lucky. They didn't have that much to do along with that.
Flacco had a nice little 4-year window.
Yeah, he had a window already. He had a window called Ray Lewis window. That team would have done nothing without him in that defense.
That's true.
But you know what? You got to respect that they won. They did it, and you know what? He won a Super Bowl. So Joe Flacco, but you're right, Mike. Sean King, Big Ben, Joe Flacco, Mark Sanchez, and Brock Purdy. Pretty cool list. Like I said, some of these guys didn't go on to do too much with their careers, but that's one cool thing you could always say with you. I'm one of the 5 guys that led my team to the championship game in my rookie season.
Like I did not know I knew about the others. I did not realize Sean King.
You know what? I didn't either. I forgot all about Mr. King.
Me too, man. Like he wasn't a great quarterback, but he wasn't like a god-awful quarterback. Right. He was a guy.
You're right. He was real average. He was average at best. He was hardly a starter. I remember he only started for a short period of time in Tampa Bay, and he kind of got mixed up because but I always liked Sean King. He was solid. But, you know, like when you're watching the guy, what's the guy that we just got, Dobbs, down to Tennessee? It's almost like him. You're almost kind of hoping and fighting for the guy. You know, like, come on, Sean King. I want you to do it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't overfilled with talent or anything like that. But there was something about him. You liked him and you wanted him to do well.
Yeah. I forget where he went to college because I remember watching him in college. And I was kind of surprised he got drafted where he was drafted. But he's like one of those guys, like he just never wasn't a bad guy. So you never felt dirty like rooting for him,
Right.
even though he wasn't on your team. You're like,
And
yeah,
back
this guy
then, Tampa
isn't.
Bay was never anything. In '99, they
Yeah.
hadn't won any Super Bowls yet, and you're kind of thinking, all right,
Yeah.
come on, let's do something with this squad. And and like I said, unfortunately, whenever they did finally do it in 2003, it was Brad Johnson, and Sean King wasn't the guy anymore. So unfortunately, he didn't get those accolades. But Mike, you know what? At the end of the day, I respect all these guys. They are all on this list, and you know what? Only 5 people has done in the history of the best players in the world. You got to give them that, whether you like the guy, whether you don't like the guy. I don't like Flacco. Was never a big fan. And you know what? I don't. Sanchez really didn't do anything for me either way.
No,
I like
he showed promise, but like his career just went downhill fast after the butt fumble.
Yeah, the butt fumble was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. So you know what? I don't hate him.
Flacco, like I said, he had that window where he was like really, really good, but people wanted to make him like one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Like,
and he just wasn't.
He wasn't, but he was surrounded by damn good defense, and he did what he had to do. Tell you what, though, that playoff run where they won and he got Super Bowl MVP, to me, he got playoff MVP for his performance up to that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like Ben's second year in the league when they won that first Super Bowl. Like he should have been like playoff MVP because he played lights out in those 3 games. Then the Super Bowl, he kind of shit the bed, but he got the team there. He rookie quarterback dragged that team into the Super Bowl. He should have been the playoff MVP, kind of like how Flacco was. That's how Flacco got the MVP award.
You know what? Yeah, no, you're right. Mike, also a couple of awards. The Pro Football Writers had voted for Alex Highsmith for All AFC team, the All AFC team. So another nice accolade for Mr. Highsmith, and also Minka Fitzpatrick, also by the same group of people, had voted him for the All NFL team, Mike. So
yes,
congratulations, guys.
Yes, and I think both of those are like where they were put in. Minka definitely All NFL, and I have no problem with Highsmith All AFC.
Yeah,
like him, I don't like he had the stats for All NFL, but like I said, overall play for the year. Not so much,
Mike. I can't wait till next season. I want to see something with him. I want to see if he rides this out and becomes a better player because of it, or he continues to play the same or less or only better when Watt gets in. I want to see if that's what the guy is. I want to see if that's what he is, or like I said, coming off a season like this where people are starting to talk to him now or talk about him. I'm sorry. You know, once you hear your name up on the big screen on ESPN and everything else, maybe your mind starts to work a little differently. And you're like, well, you know what? I am this good. And I am starting to believe that I am the guy that I always wanted to be and work to be. So one of my big interests for this team, Mike, is to continue to watch Alex Highsmith going through this next season to see what he can bring, because he put up great numbers this year. I mean, these are numbers that you would want from him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I want to know if he can do it basically off of his own merit, or if he's going to need that anchor, somebody on the other side, somebody to change up blocking so he can take advantage.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it is what it is. I mean,
but and the whole thing is too, like, you know, when TJ went down, we had Malik Reed there. So obviously everyone's going to go over to watch. So if you have someone who's just better than Malik Reed there to back up TJ and TJ's down, I don't think Highsmith's production drops as dramatically as it does.
Right.
So it's going to be fun to watch him going forward. I've been excited to watch him play. Like ever since his rookie year, he started to make little plays here. Then he's gotten better year over year. I just hope he can take that next step to where he is a comparable guy to TJ Watt, to where if Watt goes down, okay, teams really have to scheme against him, and then that backup can come in and start eating up, you know, that side of the field.
And you know, I love talking about the 95 season over and over again, but you remember when you had to go up against Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green?
Yes.
I want it to feel like that. And I don't feel like that quite yet with Highsmith.
No.
You could have, you know, Watt on one side, you could have Highsmith on the other, become that same kind of but I think Highsmith just got to get a little bit further down. I think he has to get a little further down the road.
We really haven't had that since going back to like Joey Porter and Lamar Woodley, and then like that season and a half when Bud Dupree and TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Like that's like that style of pass rushing.
Love having that. I like having the two outsides, like two people that are just a big threat and everyone's afraid to play. And Highsmith can be that guy. He can be. That's why I said it's going to be very interesting, Mike, to see how this year plays out with him.
And for being like I think it was second, third round pick, he has that pedigree.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
That 99 one, I think that's when they lost to Sherbert. jerseys.
I
They were
love
rocking
the
that. They were
sherbet.
rocking the sherbet ones were great.
They what are they, like a creamsicle? The creamsicle.
Yeah, the
color.
creamsicles.
Every once in a while, once in a blue moon, P, I've seen in the past 20 years, they would wear that during a throwback uniform game or something like that. I just love them. They're so ugly. They have no business being anywhere in pro sports where there's cameras with millions of people watching. However, I do love them, and that was when they made the turn for the better. Is when they changed that uniform. They went with the current red and dark gold or whatever that is. That's when the franchise made a turn for the better. I think that before that, when they were doing the sherbet color, they stunk. They were the worst. They were the worst all the way back to what, 77, 76, whenever they first came in the league. After that, they've always been somewhere in contention in there. So I don't know. Maybe I like them. I don't know. They're never going to come back and be their primary uniforms, but I like them.
They should bring them
Mike,
back.
Let's hopscotch. Let's jump. Let's hop over here to the hockey arena. 1 minute, Mike. I do have a couple things to talk about hockey, and then we will jump back to football. Mike, Boston's goalie Linus Ullmark.
Yes.
Now, this gentleman here, he is the second fastest goalie in NHL history to 25 wins.
Ooh.
That is a good start to the career, huh?
That's not bad. Not bad. You see what happens when you leave a bad team like the Sabres and go to a team like the Devils that are Buffalo or Boston, excuse me. Boston that is building for a championship. This shows you how important the team around you is.
Yeah.
Because that team and Buffalo that he was stuck behind for the past couple of years, terrible. Come to this team right here, solid team, and you know what?
Second fastest of 25 in the history of the game.
Not bad for a young man of 29.
Yeah.
Look at
Chris
Wanky, baby,
at Florida State.
But you just feel bad for him because you saw the talent was there in those couple of seasons where he had wins on that team, but those teams were terrible in Buffalo. Last year, like I said to you, he played 41 games with 26. This year, 30 games. 29 games started, 25 wins. You can say, a lot about the team around you, but that's also him too.
I like these kind of guys. They puts me in mind of Matt Murray in a way, who comes in as a rookie. And you know what I mean? So you get these guys that have these amazing starts in hockey. I love it. These goalies. I've always kind of been a fan of the goalies in hockey, so I like to see stuff like this.
Me too.
So,
and I like to see guys that come in with promise, that struggle, go to a good team, and you can actually see their potential, see them blossom. So even though he is on the hated Boston Bruins, congratulations.
Exactly. With that said,
I hope you lose.
Yes. And the Celtics are also doing great in basketball. So we're just going to stop talking about Boston for a moment and get back to what's important.
Yeah.
And this is
what's really important.
What's really important, and this is all going to kind of go back to P here in a second. Mike, let me finish the hockey news. Reverse retro night in Pittsburgh tonight. Reverse retro night. Panthers at Penguins. The Panthers coming in at 23, 21, and 5. Coming against the Penguins at 23, 15, and 8. Should be a good game. Pretty equal on the records. This game is 7 o'clock tonight. Mike, Panthers, Penguins. Do the Penguins, what happens to this game? What do you think happens tonight?
I think the Penguins win.
Is it going to be another overtime? It seems like every game's gone to overtime in the last month.
God, I hope not. This is, they should win this game. Matt Kachuk and Sidney Crosby. It's gonna be fun to watch those two play. They're both leading their teams in points, goals, assists. I've always been a fan of Matthew Kachuk, so it's gonna be fun to watch.
Now, the Florida Panthers have been a team that I never really pay attention to. I just haven't. You pay attention to a team from Florida, generally it's Tampa Bay, because they've had more success, of course. But, Mike, I do think the Penguins are going to win tonight. I think they're going to, get back on track here. It's probably going to be 4-3. I think the Penguins are going to win tonight 4-3, yeah.
I don't know, man. We also have the return of Patrick Hornquist.
Yes, that's right.
Key cog in those back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Oh, huge.
How could you not? How could you hate Hornquist? I know why the other teams would hate Hornquist, but yeah.
I like that HBK line back in the day.
That line was that's where it was at, man.
Kessel, Hornquist, and Bonino, right? Nick Bonino.
Yeah.
Bonino.
Oh, Mendenhall.
But yes, absolutely, Mike. It's going to be fun. NHL tonight, Penguins, Panthers, 7 o'clock, reverse retro night. Check it out. Get up to the city, get up
Yes.
to check them out. Let's go, Pens. Back to football, Mike, off of what P did say. Throw up one more time, P1.
Oh
Talking
my
about
goodness, you're killing
Florida
me.
teams. P says they were so ugly that we're talking about the Tampa Bay uniforms, of course. What is it about Florida teams and their colors? You're right. I always thought the Miami Dolphins colors were a little soft for a pro football team. And like you said, the creamsicle uniforms for Tampa Bay and Jacksonville kind of has an odd shade to their color, which
I like their colors. I've
it's
always liked their
growing on me
colors.
because I like Trevor Lawrence, and you know what? It's one of them mental things. So maybe I will appreciate the colors a little bit more as time goes on.
It's Florida. They're sunny. Everything has to be bright and cheerful down there.
Blah. I'm not blah and bright and sunny. I mean, I like bright and sunny. I just don't.
Yeah, right. You hate bright and sunny. You're just
Mike, here's some interesting stuff, huh? Want to hear some interesting stuff?
Ooh, bring it to me.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Hilton, Javon Hargrave, and Ray McLeod. Mike guarantees that a former Steeler will win a ring in this year's Super Bowl.
That goes to show you that Mike Tomlin, and he just let all these guys go. If he would have kept them all, we'd be in the Super Bowl.
These four gentlemen, Mike, are former Steelers. They do play for the former or the remaining four teams going at it this weekend to play for the Super Bowl this year. Mike, Juju, Hargrave, Ray, Hilton. Which one of these guys wins the Lombardi?
I think it's going to come down to Hilton and Hargrave, and I think it's going to be Hargrave.
All right, you thinking Philly this year? You liking Philly? They're strong. I wouldn't hold it against you if you chose Philadelphia, Mike. Is your pick?
I am going with Philly. I'm going to keep it in the Commonwealth. Even though we're supposed to hate them, I hate them in hockey, but in football, I don't hate them because they're the other conference. They're the other conference. I think it's okay to root for them.
It's like in a sense that it's good for Pennsylvania. It's good for the Northeast.
Good for the state. So
yeah,
it's not the Philadelphia Flyers. It's
right.
the Philly Eagles, and their fans are fucking crazy. I want to stay on their good side.
And that's the thing. I've never really had a problem with the Eagles. I never really have. When I was growing up, a friend of mine was an Eagles fan. He was a big fan of Randall Cunningham.
Yeah,
and they kind of grew on me at that point because the Steelers were pretty bad through the '80s. So they, you kind of accepted them, and I don't have big issues. But like I said, I tend to lump them in together with the people that show up at the Flyers games, and that a lot of times forms my opinion. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Like a buddy of mine when I lived in Sandusky, he was a big Philly fan, Eagles fan, Flyers fan, but he was tolerable.
Yeah,
he's like one of the ones that you find that's like rational, like finding a rational Steeler fan. We're out there. They're just hard to find.
I'm right here.
I know you're not. I know I'm not rational. I try to be rational, and I'm not. Here I am, y'all, just making fun of all the Yinzers.
My pick, Mike, I'm going to pick Juju to win because I want the Chiefs to win. I do think that it is going to be Philadelphia and Kansas City. I have nothing bad to say about the other two teams involved. I think they're really good teams. I think San Francisco and the Bengals are really good teams. Nothing against them. And I'm not picking it because it's against them. I guess I am. In a sense, because I don't want San Francisco to win.
Yeah.
I'm picking Kansas City. Mike Juju and KC will be, in my opinion, the one that hoists the Lombardi trophy here in a few weeks with the Kansas City Chiefs with a win over Philadelphia.
Like if Juju or Ray win a Super Bowl, talk about contributing nothing to the group project and still getting an A. I mean, look, like Juju had 2 catches last game. Ray had that
almost
fumble.
threw the game away. Yeah.
So yeah, those two really don't contribute a lot to their teams, whereas Mike Hilton and Hargraves are key contributors, key starters. So it would be an injustice if those two don't win a Super Bowl. So now I kind of want to change my pick to either Juju or Hilton.
Yeah.
This has that Peyton Manning vibe to it, where Peyton Manning played terrible in that Super Bowl, but he gets credit for an amazing Super Bowl victory when he played terrible.
Yeah. Do you want to hear some more? And another interesting group of young men, Mike, that's gonna one way or another.
I saw this one, and I did not realize one of them was from the area.
Yes, and I think I know which one that you were going to say anyway. So let's go through this list, Mike. These 3 young gentlemen are football players who 1 or 2 of will be participating in the Super Bowl in 2.5 weeks. And the three players I'm going to mention are all young men from Western Pennsylvania, the Whippeal football area here where we are from, Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh region. Mike, Sky Moore for the Chiefs.
I did not.
He's
That's
from-
the one I did not know.
I didn't either. He's from Shady Side. He went to Shady Side. Tyler Boyd, of course, who was in the Super Bowl last year with the Bengals, from Clareton, and how the Bengals, and Miles Sanders. For the Eagles from Woodland Hills, Mike. So either one or two, definitely a team from the AFC will have one of these young gentlemen in, and maybe, just maybe, if the Eagles get in, then also there'll be both teams, just like last year with Aaron Donald and Tyler Boyd being against each other.
Yeah.
We have the chance to see something like that again this year. Super excited for these young men. Again, these are guys from our football area here in Western PA. It's called the Whippeal. It's the Pittsburgh region. 3 guys, Mike, have a possibility to play in the Super Bowl from the area. It's awesome. I wish they could all get in. Obviously, they can't. But if 1, 2, whoever gets in, I wish them the best, and they can't wait to watch them in the biggest game.
Me too. Like I literally, like when I saw that today, I believe you posted up on Twitter. I did not realize like Sky Moore, because he was one of the guys I was like, he's someone I thought Pittsburgh could use, but we ended, I think he ended up getting drafted first by the Chiefs. So then we take Calvin Austin. So I was like, that was surprised me about Sky Moore. So hopefully Miles Sanders makes it. So I have Miles Sanders and Javon Hargraves in the Super Bowl. Let's go. And yes, P, there is no worse fan base than the Dallas Cowboys. Like you said, the Knicks fans, they know to sit down, shut up, be sad and quiet. They know their role.
Did everybody notice the sound that the Cowboys fans made after the this weekend? Because all the way up until this weekend, Mike, we them boys. That's all you heard. I couldn't wait for them to lose. Now, from the Dallas Cowboy fans, this is all I've heard ever since. Not one, Pete, Mike, anybody that had argued me on the internet, anybody that trolled me on the internet, anything that we had any with, has not made a single sound since the loss.
I love it. People want to talk about us, how we yap a lot. Yeah, we don't yap like the boys.
And them boys ain't. It's been how many? 3 decades, right? They haven't been
longer than us. Than us.
That's all that matters. Mike, Brian Flores, he's continued to interview. I think he has another interview today. A lot of people are saying that he's going to be going the area of Arizona. A lot of people are saying that he likes Arizona. He might be out there doing something. I don't know where Brian Flores is going, but put this into consideration, Mike. I'd seen that Wormley had put a tweet out yesterday, and he made the point that the Steelers went from number 32 on defense, number 32, last in the league. There's 32 teams, to top 10. They made it from 32 into the top 10. Brian Flores, he's a high demand, Mike. This gentleman will be, I hope, head coaching somewhere. I think maybe possibly a defensive coordinator position, maybe, could be a great opportunity for him as well. Where do you think that Mr. Flores lands, Mike?
I don't know where he's going to land, but I believe it's going to be defensive coordinator first. You get back into being a coordinator, and then he'll bump up into being a head coach again. Because, we still have that lawsuit out against the league. And like I said before, owners, they don't like anyone who really challenges the league. But, in the NFL, you kind of just lay low, do your job well enough, and then you will, if you do your job well enough, they're going to give you what you want. Yeah. And he wants a head coaching job, and there's a lot of owners that don't want to tank, and there's a lot of owners that don't like the owners hate each other too. So you'll find someone who hates that Miami ownership that will be willing to give Brian Flores a job if he goes somewhere to be a defensive coordinator and just improves that defense. I wouldn't surprise me within maybe next offseason or the season after that, he's a head coach again.
I like him. Whoever decides to hire this man is going to have a good guy on their staff, and I hope nothing but the best for Brian Flores.
I like this one. Huge Eagles fan. Reminded me of a used car salesman. That's like everyone from the Philly area.
Yeah, that's anybody I've ever known.
Like
from
Philly and New Jersey, like that Philly, New Jersey area, because a lot of New Jersey people like the Flyers too. They all have that used carsman feel to them. Yeah, they just know how to talk. They're funny. Yeah, they all have that personality.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Mike, the Maulers, the Pittsburgh Maulers. As of
Yes.
this morning, I find out they changed their colors. Now they are in suit with the rest of the professional sports teams in the
About
city of
time.
Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh continues to be America's lone color coordinated sports city, along with the Penguins, the Pirates, the Steelers, the Riverhounds, and now the Pittsburgh Maulers are black and gold. I love it. Even if you dip into college, every once in a while you see a Pitt team wearing a black and gold uniform as well. I do like it, Mike. I do like it. I am a fan of the Maulers. I mentioned this a couple of days ago, matter of fact, about how I was growing up and that whole thing. And my dad, blah, 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 blah. He
Mhm.
took me to a Maulers game. I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited to get a new t-shirt because I wear a Maulers shirt around. And
You love the Pittsburgh Maulers.
I do love the Pittsburgh Maulers, and I will certainly get a new shirt now with the black and gold because I think that's awesome.
You know how I was introduced to the Pittsburgh Maulers? So back, let's say 1996, one of the very first computer games I bought was a football game. It was like a generic football game. You know, it had like they had the NFL license, but they also had license to everyone else. Like all these old teams were like, who the hell are the Pittsburgh Maulers? Who are like all these teams? And that's how I got it. So I had to go open up an encyclopedia. Okay, this was before Google. I had to go back and open up an encyclopedia to find out who the hell the Pittsburgh Maulers were.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Like there was a team called the Maulers. It was wild.
I was confused. I remember being a kid.
Yeah, P, they thought they were special. They thought they didn't have to wear our colors, and they fired a guy for ordering a pizza, not a chicken salad.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You could actually go and pull that up. It's 100% true. I remember being a younger person, seeing the logo. My dad had something, and the guy holding the, and he's swinging, and I was so confused what this is. I kept saying, so who's our football team? Is it the Steelers or is it the Maulers? And he kept explaining to me, and I wasn't understanding it as a kid. So he did take me to a game. Then I understood. Entirely after that. And I think it's really cool that they came back. Yes, P, they did think that they were special. Mike, let's see. Poona Ford, defensive lineman from Seattle. Is this a person that you think would be a nice free agent signing for the Steelers?
Oh, I've seen him linked to the Steelers.
Yes. Why I asked.
D tackle, correct?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I haven't studied a whole lot of the free agency yet.
He's a big one.
He is a big boy. I forgot how big he is. My God, I just pulled him up. 5'11", 311. You know who he reminds me of on that size? Big Snacks.
Snacks, baby. Big Snacks, of course. Casey Hampton, right?
Just plug him right in the middle there. If he, I take a look at him, take a flyer on him. He's only 27 years old.
Yeah.
That's a good age right there. He still has some miles left on the tires. Still tread on the tires.
Right.
If you can get him at an affordable rate, yeah. Because I don't think we're be able to afford Javon Hargraves. That's everyone wants us to get Hargraves, Edmonds. We got to look at that next year down for salary cap purposes. We have so much money going into this defense. Eventually, you got to spend money on that offense. You can't keep all that offense, all young rookies on their first year, on their first contracts. You got to get some vets in there. I love the name too.
Poona.
Don't get me wrong. Poona Ford. That's like back in the day, Porchok Womack. These are the kind of guys you want on your team.
Yes.
But God.
Number 72 for the Baltimore Ravens on their offensive line, Mike.
Yeah.
I just caught this picture as I was coming on today. I don't even know who this guy is, but he is also another person I associated with by pitcher that is
by pitchers
an interest of the Pittsburgh Steelers or a team being, connected to them. Any information on this guy, Mike?
Who was it?
Number 72, offensive lineman for the Ravens.
Is that Ben Cleveland, the guard?
I don't know.
Oh, see, now let me go pull up the Ravens.
Yeah, pull him up real quick.
Oh,
let me read. I'll go ahead and read P's message real quick while you're doing that. I used to write my last minute school reports from set of 1970 encyclopedia we had at the house. Library is always too far away. You know what, P? That is hilarious. It really is. Not just because we're on the air, not just because we're talking. That is hilarious because same thing in so many levels. I would always do my work last minute. Never failed. I've never, ever, ever. I could go on record and say I don't ever remember doing my stuff on time, ever. With that being said, also I did have these 1970 encyclopedias as well. They had that smell. They all had that same smell when you cracked it open. And, I think everybody had, and it was almost became a cool thing after a while there. It's like, like you had to have this set of encyclopedias on the shelf somewhere in your house.
Oh, yeah.
To make you, seem smart. I don't know, whatever it would be, but it became so common that most people had that set of 1970 encyclopedias. It's wild.
So it was Ben Powers.
Ben Powers.
Ben Powers. Like, just doing a quick search. Like, not a real big fan of Pro Football Focus. I think they just give you a little snapshot, but he's rated actually lower than Kevin Dodson.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I want someone who's an upgrade over Kevin Dodson.
I want an upgrade.
I want to upgrade over Kevin Dodson. I want to upgrade over Dan Moore. I want to upgrade over Chooks if we can. But if we can upgrade that left guard, left tackle, I think this line would be poised to take that next step. I think our center's good enough. James Daniels is a monster at right guard. So upgrade that left side. I think the line will improve. But Ben Powers, no.
Yeah, like I said, I seen the picture. You always hear the Ravens offensive line is good.
Yeah.
So I just assumed, but I did want to make sure I talked to you and asked about that because I did not know.
I was thinking it was like Ben Cleveland. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on him. Like Puna Ford, like if he just plays a traditional nose, that's fine. Just don't overspend for him. Don't expect like numbers to jump out at you. Expect him to be able to eat up a center and a guard, which we really haven't had since Casey left. Since maybe Alualu's first year here, we need someone who can in that middle can eat up two blockers.
I just want a guy that every day we talk, I could say the word Puna.
I hate you so much.
KP QB1 Mike, he went to his first Penguin game on Friday. He's going to the Pete on Wednesday to participate in the Pitt Wake Forest game, and then he's going back home to New Jersey for a while to spend some time with his family before he heads back to work. Mike, I do like the work ethic of this young man. I hope he has a good time in the city. He's really taken to Pittsburgh, and I hope he gives it back to us as well. I think it could be a great relationship if everything goes well. Mike, I have a set of numbers here that I specifically waited till the very end of the show in case you go crazy and start yelling at me again. But I'm going to have to put these out there because I find this very interesting to say the least. So everybody knows just this past weekend that passed, the Buffalo Bills lost. The Buffalo Bills lost, unfortunately, to the Cincinnati Bengals. And in this game, Mike, the quarterback and the Buffalo Bills, of course, were only able to manage 10 points against the Bengals, okay? Now, you know what? It's the playoffs. Maybe the Bengals are really stepping it up a notch. But let's go back to the last game that Kenny Pickett started against the Bengals, which was also a home game against the Bengals, and we put up 30 points against the Bengals. Okay, so people might say, well, you know what? That could be a fluke. Maybe something. Let me continue. Listen to the stat line. You're not going to believe the stat line, Mike. If you didn't see the stat line, you're not going to believe it. Jared Allen,
Josh.
Why do I always come? Because of the guy that played for Minnesota, the 69, Jared Allen. But anyway, stat line. Josh Allen, 25 for 42. We're talking about the last home games that these two teams had against the Bengals, which were both losses, 27-10, of course, this past weekend, and 37-30 when the Pittsburgh Steelers played them. Josh Allen's line is this: 25 for 42. Kenny Pickett's 25 for 42. Yards by Josh Allen, 265. Yards by Kenny Pickett, 265. Touchdowns by Allen, 0. Touchdowns by Pickett, 1. Interceptions by Allen, 1. Interceptions by Pickett, 0. Now, and before everybody jumps on me and starts writing in and saying it's crazy to compare these two, all I basically did was took the numbers from the last two games that were played against the Bengals by these two quarterbacks at their home stadium, which they both lost, and they both started. So this, Mike, again, no, I'm not saying that he's Chase Allen, Jeff Allen, Jared Allen. I'm not saying that he's him. I never have. I never will. But I'm just saying the last two times those two quarterbacks faced that defense at their home stadium when they started, they had the exact same line, 25 for 42, 265. Kenny got a touchdown. Allen got a pick. We put up 30. They put up 10. We were bad. They were the super Bengals or the Super Bills. We just came off the bye. We weren't even really hitting on all cylinders yet. Mike, explain these numbers.
Josh Allen played them in the playoffs and in a blizzard.
That should go to their advantage. Well, plus
Kenny Smallhands was not thrown in a blizzard.
If that's your argument, I'll take it. Listen, the Kenny, Jared, so far you watch them. Of course, you see that Jared Allen is 6 years more advanced. You see that he's 6 more years advanced. I take that, but you know what? The results at the end of the day, this was a team that was hoping to go to Super Bowl. This is a team that was a favorite. This is a team that's supposed to win big games. This is a team that's supposed to go to the playoffs. This is a team that was supposed to go to the Super Bowl. They couldn't get it done. They put up 10 points against the same team that we put up 30. That's all I'm saying. I think the numbers are cool. Am I saying that he is the next Justin Allen? No, I'm not saying that. I am saying that Kenny, come on, guys, give him some time. Just give him some time. Give him some time. I think this guy is going to be a good quarterback in Pittsburgh. And you know what? Even if people don't want to admit it whenever they do start to think it, that's all right with me. That's okay. I don't care. I like Kenny. I'm getting my Kenny shirt. And you know what? I'm ready. I am ready. My January 24th, it is. I'm ready to go. Bring on September.
At the age of 24, Kenny Pickett completed a subpar rookie season. At the age of 24, Jalen Hurts is leading his team to the NFC Championship game.
And he still managed to get better numbers against the Bengals than Jason Allen. And
Josh Allen led his team to multiple playoff
and
runs.
Still have not won anything. So that is
Neither
no better than
Kenny.
what our quarterback has done. Mike, our quarterback's
way
played
to set
7
the
games.
bar high, baby.
This quarterback's played 7. He played 6 seasons. So I think that's like apples and oranges. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
I like that one.
You like that, huh?
That's how you do it. Hold on here. I want to go back a minute. Pete's parents find like over $1,000 in encyclopedias.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they wouldn't spend some money that day. Heck yeah. That's the way.
You know what I remember, P? I remember in the late 90s actually going and getting a second set of encyclopedias just because they, like I said, people just started having them around the house. So not only did I have a white set from the 70s, I also had a brown set. So that made me look extra smart, which it probably didn't. But you know what? At the time, I thought to myself, I got to have that extra set of encyclopedias. And there you go, Mike. That's a little softer to go into the website, right?
Oh, yeah. You're killing me. 2dumyinters.com. That is the number 2. DUMYINZERS.com. You head over there. We have links to everything that you need for the 2 Dumb Yinzers: Facebook, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Twitters are on there, Instagrams, the merch store, everything at 2dumyinzers.com.
There you have it. Everybody go check it out. www.2dumyinzers.com. All kind of cool things over there.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we're on all week long, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We hope that you keep continuing to check us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. And every show, the show that we do every day will get uploaded at 8 o'clock that evening. So Monday through Friday, whatever show, whatever day, it goes up that day over on Spotify in podcast form, just in case you're able to only listen to the show, or you know you feel that one of us are hideous, but we're still okay to listen to. You could always be entertained in that way by listening to the show on the podcast. Mike, everything's been going pretty great. You've been doing awesome in your Super Bowl trivia.
I have been awesome in my Super Bowl trivia. I
mean, we're 53 seconds to an hour time on this show. Do you want to fit it in? You want to do the trivia?
Let's do a trivia.
All right, everybody at home, play along. P, your answer will be appreciated as well. Mike, here we go. What was the first wild card team to win a Super Bowl? What was the first wild card team in the NFL to win a Super Bowl? And go.
Ho hum. Kind of know that one. I think I watched that game. I think I had a very emotional response to that game. I think Eli Manning was throwing touchdowns. People were catching balls off their helmet.
All right, everybody put your pencils down. The question of the day, what was the first wild card team to win a Super Bowl? Mike says he
No, I
believes
know it is your Pittsburgh Steelers.
the Pittsburgh Steelers, who was, of course, the first 6 seed. The first
damn
6
it.
seed to win a Super Bowl. And P says he's guessing Tampa Bay. And I'm going to give these guys a hint. These guys got to go back further.
Oh, wow.
You've got to go back further. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to change your answer. And then I'm going to give you 4 teams to pick from, because this could be tough. Just because when I see the way you answered, I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's probably how I would have answered.
Yeah.
So let me give you teams. You ready, guys?
Yep.
Here we go. What was the first wild card team to win a Super Bowl? Here are your choices: the Raiders, the Bears, Jets, Jets, or the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins. One more time. What was the first wild card team to win a Super Bowl? Was it the Raiders? Was it the Bears? Was it the Jets, or was it the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins? Hope that helps a little.
I'm going to go with the oh, wow.
Raiders, Bears, Jets, and Skins.
I'm going to go with the Skins.
The Redskins on that. P's taking the Giants. P, one more time real quick. What was the first wild card team to win a Super Bowl? The choices are the Raiders, the Bears, the Jets, and the Skins. I'll give you another second on that. Okay, he's going Washington. And Mike, you chose?
I chose Washington.
Washington as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your final answer, gentlemen?
Yes.
All right, we'll get you locked in. There we go. You're all set. All right, one last time for the road. What was the first wild card team to win a Super Bowl? Was it the Raiders, Bears, Jets, or the Redskins? The answer is...
Oh, God, the anticipation's killing me.
Oh, so sorry. The answer was not the Redskins, guys. It was the Raiders. The Raiders would have been 1980, the win over the Philadelphia Eagles with Jaws Jaworski and that whole situation. I'm assuming because I don't think the Raiders. I'm hoping that that's the Super Bowl. How many Super Bowls did the Raiders win?
They won one in the 70s that I know of.
Did they win that one in the 70s? That could have been it. All I know is what the book told me, and it says the Raiders. Which year? I assumed it would be 1980. I could be wrong on that, but if you would like to do your own research and go and check that out and maybe get your friends on that one later, have at it. You're right, P. Real quick, put up P1 before we roll, Mike. This could not be any more true. The Bears did tear up. They went 15-1. The only team they lost to were the Dolphins, who from 1972 were protecting their only undefeated season in the NFL. They were the one loss that the Bears took. The Bears also shut out 2 teams in the playoffs that year, only living up 3 points in the championship game, going on to beat the Patriots 46-10. That was an amazing, one of the most amazing seasons ever in the history of the game, comparable with a few other, but that Bears team was legit. No two ways about it. Mike Ditka, if anybody don't know, is from Aliquippa, same place as Ty Law, Darrell Revis, Sean Gilbert, other NFL greats, which is only about 3 miles behind me. The great Mike Ditka led that team out from Aliquippa. And, of course, he did a bunch of other things. Everybody knows Iron Mike. But, Mike, do you have anything? Speaking of Mike, do you have anything before we take off for today?
Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, much better quarterbacks than Kenny Pickett.
And there you go. And everybody, for Ryan, Mike, the 2 dumb Yinzers, have a great day. We'll